All right. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Omar BYT here. I just wanted to talk about this season. Now that the international tournaments are finally finished, Copa America goes to Argentina. Congratulations. Euro 2024 goes to Spain. Congratulations. Um, Now we are down to the new season, which means it's time to talk about what do I expect from Barca this season? What moves do I expect us to make this season? How do I think we're going to perform, especially with everything that's been going on, especially with Real Madrid and other teams in Europe this season? What my expectations are this season? Um, where do I start? There's a lot to talk about, but before we go into that, listen, you guys, if you guys watch this live stream, I'm gonna try to be more consistent this on my channel, and I'm hoping that you guys can support me. Like, share, subscribe, you guys. Um, I'm also, you guys, I'm gonna improve on my setup. There's a lot of things in my setup that is not yet perfect. I'm gonna try to improve things while I can. But obviously, we're in a new season. Last season, a lot of stuff happened. Now, obviously, it's a new season, new management, new coaching staff. And speaking of that, we have a new member of the coaching staff, Thiago Alcantara, former Barcelona player, former Bayern Munich player, and Liverpool player, has joined our ranks this season as the coaching staff. Now, what do I think of this? No, it's actually not a bad at all appointment, because here you have a guy who graduated from the La Masia Academy, who is a guy who's been here throughout a lot of our time here as Barcelona fan. I remember when he came out, and a guy who we got rid of very early, very unfortunately. And also, let's remember, guys, this is a guy who worked under Hansi Flick in that treble winning season, which is Thiago's last season at Bayern Munich. And he was actually one of their key players and one of Hansi Flick's favorites. And I think that this is a very good move as far as coaching staff, because Thiago knows a lot about the system. He knows about a lot about Barcelona. And obviously, you've got Hansi Flick, who is still new to the job, a guy who doesn't really know much about Spanish and all of that. Having a guy like Thiago who's been here, he can basically teach him a lot about what to expect, this season. And basically, I think it's a very good deal for both parties. Now, as far as Thiago joining, give me a second. Um, it's actually a very good deal as far as Thiago joining us is concerned, because I think that what do I expect? Obviously, I don't expect much from him. I just expect that, he'll basically assist Thiago with a lot of like the deals, as far as like talking to the Spanish players and basically teaching them a lot about the system as far as him joining is concerned. And but as far as what I expect this season, now that really depends. Now it's 18th of July, and we don't have any signings yet. We don't have any departures yet. The only links we've heard about this season so far is the deal, which is um, Nico Williams. Now, and obviously recently we've been linked with Dani Olmo, and also we don't really know what to expect from the whole the Joao Cancelo thing. Is he coming back? Is he not gonna come back? These are all things that we are basically looking at to see what's going to happen next. And I'm hoping that this season, we can make some moves this season. And obviously, it's not going to be easy with a lot of the stuff that's been happening outside. But, I'm very hopeful. What do I expect from us this season? To be honest, I'm not unrealistic. Now, we've seen what's been happening in like clubs like Madrid. Obviously Mbappe has arrived. They're trying to get Alfonso Davies. They're trying to get in what's his name, Trent Alexander-Arnold. But they've also lost a lot of key players. Obviously, the main person in that midfield, Toni Kroos, has retired. Modric is no longer the same guy. He's still there, even though he's still there. And what do I think is going to happen this season? It really depends. Um, Obviously, we haven't made any signings yet. I haven't seen how we're going to play next season. Are we going to play more of the same? Is Hansi Flick going to put his system instantly? However, and as far as I'm concerned, I am under this opinion that when it comes to Hansi Flick, I think that he should just be given the doors to just do what he needs to do. I think that Hansi Flick needs to be more basically brave when it comes to his tactics. I don't know what to really expect this season from Barcelona. I don't know what's going to happen as far as what we're going to do as far as system is concerned. Are we going to play the same system, the same formation? Personally, I would like to see a new formation. I would like to see a new style because I feel like we're overly dependent on our DNA. Now, I'm not saying it's not a good thing. Like having your own DNA is a very, very good thing. However, I think we're too over reliant on it. And I would like to see maybe, not to say a complete change of our system, but something new. Like I would like to see a new formation. I would like to see how players like Gavi that do next season, how we're going to see if Faye is going to be in the team. I know he's transfer listed. I don't know what's the whole deal with that. But, we've got players like, you know, Yamal, who just had an amazing summer. How is he gonna be playing next season? And what do I expect from us next season? Really depends on how we do in the transfer window. I need to see us make moves. Look, we need to make moves, you guys, because all I've been hearing is links, and I don't like it. I'm gonna be very honest. I'm not liking the way we're just being linked and linked and linked. Like the only strong link we've had so far in the transfer window is Nico Williams. Okay, uh, who are the others? Like the only striking options we have is Lewandowski. Is Hansi Flick gonna give Victor Roque a chance? I think that Ansu Fati is basically transfer listed. So what are we gonna do? Like, what is the fate of guys like Rafinha? I know he's also another guy who Barcelona are open to selling this summer. Um, I know that Aston Villa are very, very much interested in Rafinha. We'll see what happens with that. Now, well, listen, I'll say this about Rafinha to Aston Villa because apparently, according to One Football, he's poised to join Aston Villa. Okay, so what do I think of that? I think that if that would help us get Nico Williamson, fine. However, I will also say this. I am not putting all of my eggs in one basket. We have a lot of issues in this club. I've seen us the last few years, especially since Messi left, where we've done this thing where we've ruined our young players. I remember when Pedri came up, right? And we played him in like 50 games in the league. He played in the Euros, he played in the Olympics, and he burned out. And you're seeing it now with his injury record, which is very, very poor. And this is the thing. I was literally screaming this back in 2021 when he was being played like this. I said, listen, he's too young to be playing all these games at the same time. We're overusing him, we're overplaying him, and it's not gonna end well. We need to improve, you guys. We need to get some more depth in the midfield. And as a result, you've seen what's happened to him with his injury proneness. I don't want to fall into that. Now, Yamal has had a great tournament. Yeah, basically, a lot of players have been gassing him up. And listen, I think that Yamal has great potential to become one of the best players we've seen in history. However, everybody needs to calm down. All right? Everyone needs to calm down, lads. We're overdoing this with what we're doing right now, which is basically putting unrealistic expectations on a kid. Because that's what he is. He's a kid. He's a child, guys. Like, he's a year older than my youngest sister, who literally I remember holding in my arms. That's how young Yamal is. Yamal is a child, guys. He's a child. Like, come on, we need to take our time. Like, I heard, and I know next season he's gonna be wearing 19, and that was a personal choice by him. And you know what? I absolutely rate him for that, because we're already trying to set up this kid for failure, because they were planning on giving him the number 10 shirt. Like, okay, lads, I believe that eventually he will be the number 10, but give this guy a space to grow, guys, because Yamal is a child, and over putting all of these expectations on him at this age is not right. A lot of players always are called the next Messi. We've seen it with Boyan. We saw it with Ansu. We saw it with all these young players coming into the first team and performing well. And all of a sudden, you just saw the tide change with all of these unrealistic expectations being handed to them. That's enough. I don't want to see that anymore. Listen, we cannot expect every single time we have a young player come into this team being put under pressure. I get it. La Masia has always been producing players for years. However, to do this thing where we're doing the class of 92 Manchester United thing, where every time an academy player comes up, they're always being hailed as the next Paul Scholes or the next David Beckham and all of that. We can't do this where every time a young midfielder comes out, oh, here's the next Xavi. Oh, here's the next Busquets. Oh, here's the next this. So you start putting these unrealistic expectations on them as a child. That's what we need to remember. Guys like Pedri. Pedri is 21. Gavi is 20. Ansu is 21. Like, people forget. Like, people are forgetting that Ansu Fati is still a child, guys. He's still not reached his full potential, but you think that this guy is 25 with the way he's been treated. And you've got a player like Yamal, who just turned 17. 17, guys. He's just turned 17. And we need to be very careful how we treat these players, guys, because they're children and they need space to grow. Even the great Lionel Messi, the greatest of all time, he wasn't just put under the limelight. Like, don't get me wrong, I remember when Messi came up. I was a child, but I still remember when Messi was in the team. You know who we had in the team? We had guys like Ronaldinho. We had players like Eto. We had players like Deco. We had players like Julie. We had players like Johnson. We had players of that caliber who were the depth of the attack. So Messi didn't always have to be the guy everyone was looking at as, okay, you're the guy now. And because of that, because we have players like Ronaldinho, who was the face at the time, Messi could grow. Like, people forget, Messi from like 04 all the way to 2008 was extremely injury prone. People forget how injury prone Messi was when he was a child. He was very injury prone, but because he had so many options on the attack at the time, whenever Messi was injured, we always had players in the team who could directly replace him. So Messi was given the space to grow. So when he finally got over his injuries and he became the main man, when Ronaldinho left, when Deco left, when eventually Eto'o left, and all those players, and he became the main man, he was able to handle the pressure because he had years to learn. Now, these players of this generation in this Barca team, they don't get that luxury. When you have a young player, we just do this thing where we just expect them to just perform. And that is why next season, I am not putting any pressure on Yamal, because even though, yes, he's just had an amazing Euros, one of the best players in the tournament, the best young player, and I believe he's going to be the golden boy this summer. Absolutely. However, like I said, guys, relax. Relax, guys. To the Barca fans, let's not put unrealistic expectations on this kid. He's still a child. He still has a lot to grow. And the fact that he's playing this well when he hasn't reached his potential shows you just how unreal this kid could be. However, he needs environment. And that is why I need us to sign more attackers. I need us to sign more attackers. I don't want to be hearing that we're selling Rafinha, we're bringing in Nico Williams. Okay, that's good. Bring in Nico Williams. I need another winger. I know Ansu is there. We'll put Ansu in the transfer list. Is he going to stay next season? Highly unlikely with the way we're trying to sell him. However, João Felix is not here anymore. The only attacker we have of sort is Victor Roque, who we don't even know what's going to happen to him. Is he going to go on loan? Is he going to get sold? Like, what's going to happen with that? That's what I want to know. I need to see us make moves this summer, because next season, I don't want our wingers to be Yamal and Nico Williams alone. I need to see a lot more attackers. I need Yamal to be given space, not to be played in Copa del Rey, not to be played in the Champions League and in the league simultaneously. I need us to have a good squad depth so that these players can be given space. Because I know that Yamal is going to be a main man in the team next season. However, like I keep saying, we need a lot more than that. We need players who can give players like him a rest, because he needs time to grow. He can't overplay him and make him injury prone like we just did to guys like Gavi. That's enough. Let's perform well, guys. Please. And that is why, like I said, for me, what I expect from us this season is, listen, let's just have a good season. I'm very, very, very optimistic about the new season. We'll see what happens with Yamal, with guys like Nico Williams, if he does join. And listen, let me just say this. I know that Yamal is not the only one that is being linked. Recently, I've heard that we are linked with Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo is another kid, a Barcelona boy. He is a Barcelona academy kid. And look, I'm going to be very honest. From what I've seen in the Euros, bring him up. Bring him in. I am all for him being in the team. I am all for him being back. Because honestly, we need new wingers. We need new attackers. We need more attacking depth in this team. And right now, unfortunately, I don't know what is going to happen next. I'm just hoping that we can give these young players an opportunity to grow by building up other players, bringing new team players, like signing new players and all of those things. However, I need to see something this season. I need us to perform this summer. So I don't know what happens next. I hope that one second. But yeah, I hope that this season we do well. And look, like I said, I'm just saying what I just expect from us this season is, let's have a good season. Let's have an okay season. We don't have to have a unrealistic season. We just have to perform to our best. And for me, that's all that I want. I want to see what we're gonna do. What we're gonna do this summer. That's all I want to know. That's really all I want to see this summer. All right, give me, guys, give me 1 second. Sorry, guys, if my network is not that good, guys. Okay, so look, basically, what I'm trying to say is that we need more attacking squad depth this summer. I want us to see some new blood in this team. I need to see some new players in this team and players, especially in the attacking areas, so that we can have a lot of squad depth. Because listen, I've already talked about Yamal. I've talked about the potential of players like Nico Williams arriving. However, that is not enough. I need to see another player. I need a player of Dani Olmo's position. Now, look, a lot of people have had a lot to say. Look, I get it. Barcelona, we may not have as much money as teams like Madrid and all of that. However, we're not so broke that we can't sign some of these players. Like, we're acting like these players are going to be unrealistic. Like, listen, Nico Williams is a 50 million euro player. Dani Olmo is what, around the same amount? Like, why can't we get both? We haven't signed anyone. And basically, with the idea that apparently we're going to be selling players like Rafinha, all right, let's sell Rafinha and let's go get one of these players. And look, let me say this, right? If you look at like some players, especially in in Madrid, like if you look at Madrid, and I'll say this, right, to give credit to somebody like Florentino Perez, right? A lot of these players that they've signed, they are not like, they were not world class when they were bought. Some of these guys were just okay players. However, they basically by value is what I'm saying, basically. And um, despite all of that, they still performed to their best. And now those players who, let's be real, at the time they were not, they were not as valued high as they are now. As far as like business is concerned, look at players like Mbappe, players like Vinicius, players like Valverde, players like this who were young players when they were brought in, blend into the system. Like you look at even a player like Vinicius, and this is what I'm saying. Vinicius is a perfect example, right? If you look at Vinicius Junior basically, when he arrived, Bale was there, Benzema was there, Hazard was there. I know he was injury prone. However, there were so many attacking players that a guy like Vinicius wasn't the main man and he had space to grow. And when he finally grew to being the main man, he was given the keys. At Barcelona, we need to do the same with Yamal. I feel like Yamal is a good player and Yamal will be the main face of Barcelona. However, he needs the time to grow to that position. And at the end of the day, that's what I need to see. I need to see us perform to our best and make sure that we get more attacking players in this team so that players like Yamal don't get overplayed. That's really all I need to see this season, honestly. And look, I'll say this, right? Just to conclude. I don't expect us to win everything this summer. We're still in a rebuilding stage, and there's still a lot of growing to do this season. And because of that, I think that we need to put a lot of emphasis on improving the team for the future, because we do have a few good players. However, I am not dumb. I am not saying that we're going to have an awful season like a lot of people do. I think that we could have an okay season now. And because of that, I'm hoping that, what I expect is that let's at least challenge, not even win, but I expect us to challenge for the league next season. I hope us to have a good run. Hopefully we have a good run in the Champions League next season. And I'm expecting us to win the Copa del Rey. So yeah, that's all I expect. I want us to be a little bit more competitive next season. That's what I expect. And also I expect that, to have a good squad depth, have a good team, have a good system, see some new formation, see some new stuff. The internet is a little bit bugging right now, guys. I'm going to end my live here early. And like, share, and subscribe. And if the screen is not that good, guys, I'll make sure to fix it soon. The weather is poor today. It's raining outside of my house right now. So like, share, and subscribe, you guys.